Yeah.
Okay, guys, welcome. I'm just going to admit everyone first. There we go. And I am going to spotlight myself. Okay, I just want to set up one more setting and there we go. Okay, guys, welcome this afternoon at our session on brainstorming and AI, a perspective for the future. I'm going to start the session in a few minutes, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to give the founder of ACRE, which is our creativity conference, a moment to have a few words. So, Kobus, are you there?
I can hear you, Francois, yes. But I can see you too, but I'm invisible.
Okay. That's okay. I don't see you on camera, so...
No, my face is gone for some reason, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Do you want to say a couple of words?
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't see you. Yeah, everyone, hello and welcome. It's again a delight to have Francois presenting this afternoon. Francois has been if I can use the word stalwart, part of the creativity team here in South Africa for some time now, and has made huge and major contributions, you know, to the whole creativity setup, and also in the planning of our conference next year in March. And he's right on the cutting edge of creativity. And we had many discussions the past few months on artificial intelligence and creativity. And during the next few months, I think there will be a focus on our side on that. And also during the conference, we've made contact with a colleague of mine in the US, University of Montana, that is actually done, and we're not going to talk about that really today, but at a later stage, with trying to answer the question, how creative is ChatGPT? And the results have been totally astounding, and that has a massive impact on every business, every education, every whatever out there. So in the months to come, there'll be a strong focus on our side, integrating creativity into ChatGPT. But for now, thank you, Francois, once again, you know, presenting, and also thanks for your major contributions to creativity in all over the world, but South Africa in particular. Thank you.
Thank you, Kobus. Okay, we're going to kick off in a moment, and we're going to talk about the topic that's interesting to all of you. But I just want to say a couple of words about ACRE, which is our conference here in South Africa. If you go to the website acreconference.com, okay, so there you go, ACREconference.com. You can get all the information about our conference as well as our early bird special that is valid until the 30th of November. If you go to this website, not only will you find information about ACRE, but if you go and click on the little sessions tab there, it will give you an overview of all the upcoming sessions that you can register for and attend. I'm doing the session today, but the next session is going to be a really amazing one. Lee Kitchen, one of our creativity colleagues from the USA, is going to talk to us about radical creativity. And Lee is someone that has worked for the Walt Disney Company for 32 years. So he can bring an incredible perspective about radical creativity. So put that in your diaries. On the 17th of October, Lee Kitchen will be our speaker. Apart from that, let's go over to our topic for today, which is one that I think is becoming a lot more relevant to a lot of us, whether you are an educator, whether you're a business professional, whether you're an entrepreneur. Lots and lots of people are talking about artificial intelligence, and they're not always as positive about it as they could be. So what I want to do today is I just want to show you a little bit, a very, very small insight into AI or artificial intelligence. And I'm going to give you a very small perspective from the point of view of someone that works with creativity for a living. But as we know, all of us actually work with creativity for a living, because whether you're a teacher, whether you're an innovator at a company, whether you're a business professional, you are evaluated by the value that you bring to your organization or to your field. And often that value comes from the ideas that you contribute to the conversation inside of your organization. And just to whet your appetite a little bit more, all of these pictures that you see on the slides today are pictures that was generated by an AI. So AI is not only a very good tool to use as a conversational tool, but it also has other aspects of creativity that you can use, like, for example, visual expression, as you can see here. Now, I'm going to start at the basics, since I don't know all of you, and I'm hoping that you have some background in AI and ChatGPT specifically. My explanations here might be redundant, but let's just start. And AI, or artificial intelligence, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in computer systems. So at its heart, artificial intelligence is a simulation, and it involves the development of algorithms, software, and hardware that enables machines to perform tasks that typically are seen to be similar to human intelligence. And these tasks include many different activities that we do on a daily basis, like problem solving, like reasoning, learning, perception, language understanding, and of course, decision making. So artificial intelligence is simply a simulation. Then what is ChatGPT, which is the tool that we're going to be specifically talking about today? Now, ChatGPT is a variant of the GPT language model, and GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And it's a language model that was developed by OpenAI, which is a company. And it's specifically designed for generating human-like text in a conversational manner. So when you interact with ChatGPT, even though that conversation is a text-based one, it's very much an interactive conversation like you would have with another human being. And ChatGPT is a part of a family of AI models that has specifically been fine-tuned for natural language understanding and generation, which makes it really well suited to tasks involving text-based conversations. Now, unfortunately, whenever a new technology emerges, the first reaction to it is often a negative one. And there's a lot of fears about AI in the market at the moment. Many people fear that AI may lead to widespread job losses. Now, what is important to understand is while AI can automate certain tasks, it can also create brand new opportunities. So with other words, 28 conference. And I've got some feedback somewhere. If I share my screen very quickly. Let me just, sorry, someone has just joined and not muted themselves. My apologies for that. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so yes, so there's a fear that AI might create job losses. But the truth is AI can also create a whole host of new job opportunities. But more importantly, and I hope you're going to see that today, it really enhances productivity. So the key of living with AI is to adapt your skills so that you can work alongside AI. And I'll make some further comments towards the end around that. The other fear that often also surfaces is that AI will take over the world. You know, there's some individuals out there that hold this science fiction inspired belief that AI will become sentient and take control. And the next thing we know, there will be an apocalypse and humans will be wiped out. You know, there was a whole series of movies around that specific little scenario. But in reality, AI is still a tool that is created and controlled by human beings. And at least for the moment, it doesn't possess self-awareness or intentions. So those are still in the domain of being a living, breathing human being. The other fear that people struggle with is that of bias and discrimination. And they argue that AI is inherently biased or discriminatory. So while AI can inherit biases from training data, those issues are typically addressed through data cleaning, fairness algorithms, and of course, responsible AI development. You know, at the end of the day, we must always remember the tool is never evil. It's always about the intention of the person who create the tool. And at the moment, there's a huge movement inside of AI to focus on ethics. Okay, then another fear of human beings is loss of control. You know, and there's a common misconception that once artificial intelligence systems are deployed, humans will lose control over it. You know, some people might have heard of Skynet, which is also just a movie invention. But in reality, humans design these systems, they monitor them, and they make the decisions about them. And they can be shut down or modified if necessary. There's a little tale about an AI system that was created by Facebook, and they created these little bots that started talking to each other. And as these bots developed, they actually developed their own language in talking to each other. And the people at Facebook got concerned about this, what was happening. And guess what they did? They shut it down and it was gone. So we still have control and we will not lose control over that. As long as there's an off button, we'll still be in control. Then there's one that's closer to us as creative thinkers, that AI might replace creativity. And in the news recently, and Cobus mentioned it as well, the Torrance test, which measures human creativity, a researcher out in the United States actually took ChatGPT and they put ChatGPT through this Torrance test. And it actually transpired that this ChatGPT scored as high as the top 1% of creatives that have taken this specific test. So there's some fears that AI is replacing creativity on the one hand with its own creativity, but there's also this belief that how can a machine or code contribute to creative fields like art, writing, or music? And in recent times, AI has also demonstrated creativity in generating art. I mean, the pictures that you're looking here are generated out of an artificial intelligence machine. I know at the moment, across the world, there are several competitions for AI art that is generated. So AI definitely is there in there, developing its own brand of art. Every single day, content creators across the web uses tools like ChatGPT to create content for their websites and for their newsletters. And In recent times, there's even been music that's been created by artificial intelligent algorithms. Another threat that we can consider is that AI is a job threat for professionals. Professionals like doctors and lawyers, they sometimes fear that AI will replace their expertise. Now, in reality, AI is excellent at assisting professionals in tasks like diagnosis and research. And professionals that choose to use AI enhance their abilities rather than being replaced. And then there's the fear that AI is going to be very, very expensive. And it's totally a misconception. While AI development can be resource intensive, there's also cheap and easy user-friendly AI tools and platforms that is accessible to a wide range of organizations and individuals. And then a final fear I want to touch on is that of AI as a black box. And people start fearing AI because they don't know the inner workings. And they see it as a black box that cannot be understood or controlled. And at the moment, there's a number of efforts or projects that are being made to develop what is called explainable AI, which is techniques that provide insights into AI decision-making so that we could easily understand and see how AI gets to the decisions that is made. Okay, so yes, in conclusion, I can just say there's always going to be a lot of fears about a new and unknown technology. But ultimately, if you take the time to understand it and you enhance your own skills to use that technology, almost always you are putting yourself in a position where you are going to be better off than someone that fights or resists a new technology. So let's get to looking at why is AI specifically important to creative thinkers and creative people like we all hope we are. Well, firstly, AI gives us endless creativity. If you use a tool like ChatGPT can generate an almost limitless variety of ideas and suggestions across almost every conceivable topic you can think of. And it's this diversity of thought that can help us break through our own mental blocks and inspire fresh thinking. ChatGPT is also incredible to help us with quick information gathering. And it can respond instantaneously to any question that exists within its history and its training. And this is often for us as creative thinkers a very quick starting point just to get an understanding of what information is out there. And it's also helpful as you can rapidly move deeper and deeper into levels of knowledge that you can then verify at a later stage. So you can use ChatGPT to just very quickly give you a ton of information that might have taken you weeks to work through if you used more traditional information gathering techniques. Now, it is important to understand that the information that you're getting from ChatGPT are information that comes from its history and its learning. So it's important that at some point in time, you do verify any information that is extracted for you by ChatGPT. What is most important for us as creative thinkers, ChatGPT can simulate different perspectives, different personas, or different voices, which enables us to consider multiple points of view, which ultimately can help us get to more well-rounded and innovative ideas. Yeah. Then ChatGPT doesn't have personal biases, and this is the interesting thing. And if you've sat in any creative kind of workshops or any kind of strategic workshops, often there's an unconscious bias that we have when we start presenting proposals or ideas, and we unconsciously align with managers. We unconsciously align with what the vision of the company is. We unconsciously align with the views of our mentors. ChatGPT does not have that personal bias, and it makes it an objective source of inspiration, and it helps prevent groupthink, and it encourages the exploration of unconventional ideas. Okay, and it bypasses our unconscious bias to align with the powerful people in our career or personal life. Another useful thing about ChatGPT, there's incredibly quick idea generation. ChatGPT can rapidly provide ideas, concepts, solutions, and it significantly speeds up the brainstorming process. And this is especially useful when time is a critical factor, if you want to get to good ideas quickly. Even in brainstorming sessions, even though there is this huge flood of ideas initially, inevitably we get to the spaces where we start slowing down, where you run into that dead space where no one's say anything that can move the session forward. And this is where you can very quickly then generate a couple of unconventional ideas from ChatGPT. And then, of course, the next step is, once you've got those ideas, ChatGPT is particularly useful at expanding initial ideas by providing additional context, by providing examples or explanations, or to help refine and develop concepts further. Also, ChatGPT is available 24/7. You don't have to schedule it. You don't have to set up a meeting with it for next week, Monday, although you can if you want to, but you can immediately jump in whenever the inspiration strikes. A lot of the time we struggle with brainstorming sessions because we have to get a whole diverse group of people together, and we have to bring them in a room at the time frame that suits everyone, which often moves out those sessions by a week, by 2 weeks, by a month. And if you had some really good inspirations and ideas and you're really passionate about it, in the course of a week or a month, that passion and that excitement is going to dim a lot. So this is a tool that's always available to you. And the moment that an idea comes up or inspiration comes up, you can jump into ChatGPT and you can start exploring. And then the most wonderful one of it all, especially in cash-strapped South Africa, it is cost-effective. You know, if you compare it to hiring external consultants or conducting extensive market research, things that take a lot of time and it takes a lot of very expensive time, ChatGPT is a very cost-effective solution that can help you generate ideas and insights. And the only input that you then have is yourself and the ideas that you have, or the 2 or 3 people that you can immediately bring together within the environment. The one thing that I didn't mention here, although it fits in with a couple of these ideas, and I'll give an example. A while ago, I was tasked to create a design thinking document for a client of mine, and in this document, I had to define certain audiences. I had to define the characteristics of those audiences. I had to create personas that were representatives of those audiences, very diverse personas. And ultimately, I had to create value propositions for each of these audiences on how to provide a certain service to them. And I remember this is the kind of work that typically, if I look at the scope that I was working with, it would typically take me anything from 5 weeks to 2 months to do all the research with the variety of audiences and the diverse personas they wanted to deal with. I jumped on ChatGPT and I completed that entire exercise in about 3 hours. So for me personally, I can, as a creative thinker that uses design thinking in crafting value propositions for organizations, I can give you my personal experience where something could have taken me as much as 2 months, but yet with the assistance of ChatGPT, I completed it within a couple of hours. Okay, just by the way, while I'm busy with all of these things that I'm sharing with you, I also want to sort of invite you guys, if there's any questions that you have, we're going to have a Q&A session towards the end of this session. If there's any questions you have, please feel free to use the chat box and capture your questions in there, and I'll have a look at it towards the Q&A time, and I'll just address any questions you might have. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to take you a little bit into a very, very, very simple example of using ChatGPT for brainstorming. And what I've done here is I've set out a little process of where I want to get to. So typically, like in any brainstorming session, what the creative facilitator will do is they will go and create a structure according to which you're going to do the brainstorming session. And here is a little structure that I've created. And I said, in this specific exercise that I'm going to sort of take you through, what I want to do is I want to start a new business, and I want to focus on what would be a great idea for products that I can sell in this business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and I'm going to build some context, and we're going to walk through this step by step. I'm going to define some objectives. Then I'm going to ask some questions. I'm also going to assign some roles to ChatGPT and say, well, I want you to sort of perform a certain role for me and give me an answer in the context of that role. Then we're also going to explore some perspectives, looking at what comes out of the suggestions from different perspectives. And then I'm going to ask ChatGPT to summarize the one key idea for me. And then I'm going to ask it to suggest what is the action that I should take. Now, we won't be able to work through all the details, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring ChatGPT up. So there we go. And we've got ChatGPT here. And let me just move this so we bring the... So if you want to use ChatGPT for yourself and you haven't yet, the site you want to go to is a site called chat.openai.com. And you can then register a user ID there and a password. And then you can start doing little ideation sessions of your own. Okay, let me just stretch this. Okay. Now, if you look at the screen in ChatGPT, on the left-hand side, you'll see there's many other conversations that I've already had with ChatGPT in the past. And these conversations can go on for many questions. And on the main screen, you'll see there's a little text box. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm talking about the conversations on the left while not showing it to you. There's all the conversations on the left. Okay, good. Okay, let me just move it over. I just want you to maximize the view of ChatGPT. When you open ChatGPT, you'll also see there's a ChatGPT version 3.5, which is a free version which you can use, and it works really, really well. And then there's the most recent version, which is ChatGPT 4, which is a little bit limited, but also if you want to use it, you can upgrade to it, but there's a monthly fee associated. I think it's something like $20. But like I said, if you just stick to ChatGPT 3, it is free. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the first step there, which is bold context. And I've just pre-captured a question, Control C, which I'm going to paste in here, down here where it says send the message. I'm just going to type in my question. And this is where you will type in your queries. And what I'm doing is I'm saying to ChatGPT, I'm starting a new business for customers selling services online. I'll be selling mostly to individuals interested in the personal growth and development in terms of mindset, skills development, and mental agility techniques. I'll be selling online via my website on educational webinars. My skills are in the field of leadership, neuro-linguistic programming, appreciative inquiry, and training design. I've coached and trained in these fields. So what I'm doing is I'm telling ChatGPT something about me and this business that I want to create. I go further and I say my main income is planned to be generated through coaching and online courses. But now here comes the thing. What other information will you need before you can assist me with ideas for supporting products and services? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, what is all the information and the context that I should provide to ChatGPT before it's going to give me the best ideas it can? Okay, and then I say, hit send, and ChatGPT will start generating a response for me. Okay, and now immediately it tells me there's a number of things that I should provide it so it can give me the best kind of ideas. And as you can see, and now basically it's saying to me, what is all the research I need to go and do that I can then share with ChatGPT so that it can give me great ideas around this business I want to start. For example, it says here, I must give them a target audience persona. It says here, I must give them a competitive analysis. Have I researched my competitors? Pricing strategy. What is the pricing strategy? What's the marketing and sales strategy? So what this is doing is it's already giving me a bunch of stuff that I haven't even thought of. So what I'll do is I will go away and I will go and find a lot of this information. And similarly to what I've done there, I will then make a statement and I will add this information to what ChatGPT wants to know. Okay, but you'll see, for the purposes of this example, I'm not going to do that. But okay, there's one or two things that I'm going to give it extra. But even if I don't give this information to it, it will make its own assumptions, and based on my questions that follows, it will fill in a picture. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to define objectives. So I'll bring in another question. So I'm going to say, in terms of objectives, my business goals are to develop an online business capable of supporting an income of $20,000 per month in 5 years from now. What should be my key offerings? Okay. And off ChatGPT will go, and it will go and find an answer for me. Okay. Sometimes these answers come back a little bit quicker. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. Okay, let's hope. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that you want to consider also, if you are using the free version of ChatGPT, sometimes the response will be less than ideal because there's literally millions of people around the world accessing ChatGPT at the same time. And let's there we go. Okay, we've run into a little bit of a okay. Let me just stop that and ask that question again. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just going to try something to accelerate this. So my apologies. Okay, good. Okay, so let me just put that question in there again, and let's see. Okay, while that is thinking, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have control about how rapidly it will respond. But while this is generating, for example, the question that I asked now is, I said I've got a certain business goal. And then what it's going to come back with, it's going to ask me, it's going to give me some key offerings that I should consider in terms of all of the information that I've provided and the goals that I have. And then I can actually start asking it detailed questions. And this is typically where we can then go deeper into the information that is provided. So I can, for example, say, can you expand on what you mean with your suggestions? Alternatively, I can ask other questions, like, for example, if one of the let's say one of the suggestions that comes back with is, for example, do more email marketing and newsletters. I can then just say, tell me more. And what it will do is it will, okay, let's see. Okay, I think we are stuck at the moment. Yeah, then I can specifically ask, tell me more about the suggestions. Okay. Regenerate. Okay, let me maybe just try and rephrase the, let's try and rephrase this question. So, I want to develop an online business capable of generating an income. Let's see. Okay, while we're waiting for that, are there any questions at this point? If you have a question, just maybe put your hand up. You'll see there in the little toolbar below, there's let's see, you can put your hand up, ask a question, or just unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hi there, it's Matthew here. Can you hear me? Hello?
Anyone? Matthew,
Hi,
you look like
me?
you. Okay, let me just double check if I can. I can't hear you at the moment. Let me just double check something. Okay, just unmute yourself, Matthew.
Can you hear me now?
See at the bottom left, there's a mute button. Okay, I can see it. I still can't hear you though. Okay. Try again, please.
How about now?
There we go. Gotcha.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think I just have a quick one.
Sure.
That I've sort of worried about or had some concerns about is just the privacy in terms of the use of ChatGPT. You know, what is available for other eyes to see? I mean, are your questions available along with the answers, that sort of thing?
Okay. Okay. There's one thing we need to sort of understand about privacy. As I am asking ChatGPT questions like this, what I'm doing is I'm actually contributing to its learning model. So any information that I give it becomes part of its knowledge base. Okay. The questions that you are asking, if you have any concerns about your questions, you'll see when you sign up with ChatGPT, they will say to you, since this is a free service, they have the right to sort of monitor the kinds of questions that you ask. So there's someone somewhere that will see the kinds of questions that you answer if you're an interesting enough individual, of course. You know, if you think about the millions of questions that probably are going through to ChatGPT on a daily basis, I can promise you 80% of the time people are asking the same questions. Okay. And I know that OpenAI is specifically interested in unconventional types of thinking. So they might pick up if you bring particularly intelligent questions to the table, but they don't share that with anyone else. Okay. What I would say also is when you use ChatGPT, don't go and take your company privileged information from your company and start adding it into ChatGPT, because that then becomes part of the history. It might or might never ever appear on any other question, but it could appear as an answer to a question somewhere. So yes, there are a few privacy concerns, but I think if you use ChatGPT intelligently, you should be okay. Yeah. And here's the other thing, and I'm hoping that most of my creativity colleagues will agree with me. Ideas are essentially worthless. Okay. I know many people, they think that if they come up with ideas, the value is in the idea. That idea has zero value. That idea only has value when you take action on it and you start implementing it. Okay. Virtually any person that you can walk to in the street have tons of ideas to share with you, but those ideas might mean nothing unless you take action on them. And then the action that you take is actually what creates the value. Okay. So yeah, in a roundabout way, I'm hoping I answered your question there.
No, that was great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like ChatGPT chose today to crash on us. I'm going to try one more thing, or else I'm just going to talk you through this in concept. Let me just quit that and restart that. Yeah, I apologize for this. I mean, whenever you're working with the internet, it's almost impossible to predict what will and may happen. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. That'll teach us. Gave us a message. There might be some performance problems because they're busy scaling their systems. So let's try this. Save and submit. Okay, come on, work with me, please, man. And because I wanted to impress you guys how it generates the information, I actually removed the historical.
Sorry, Francois, it's Coetzee here. Francois. Francois,
I'm listening.
Can you hear me, Francois?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I actually put the question here on and it gave me an incredibly good answer to your question. I thought, let me try it on my side, and it really gave me a lovely sort of a lovely answer. So maybe there's some I don't know what on your side.
Just read it for us.
Yeah, let me see what it has. It says assess your current. It's got explanations every time. Assess your current financial situation. Set clear goals. Increase your skills in education. Multiple income streams, and so on, with a little explanation every time. Build a side business. Invest wisely. Budget and save. Network and build relationships. Consider passive income. Track your progress. Seek professional advice, and so on. Really, a very good sort of 12-point kind of plan or a strategy that one can follow. So yeah, I was kind of impressed here. So I thought I'll try it, and there it was.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I ask it a different question. Can you elaborate more on developing a sound financial plan? Although it hasn't given me that answer. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, maybe ChatGPT has just decided I've tried reloading the entire conversation. Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this conversation, and let's just quickly restart it and see. Yeah, my apologies, guys. This is unforeseen. Yeah. It's also quite possible that I've asked it too many questions today, and it's now throttled me down to be a very low priority, which also happens. There we go. Something is happening. There we go. And it's giving us similar things to what it gave the last time. The interesting thing is, as you keep on asking it questions, it always tailor its answer a little bit from the previous time. And the reason for that is because since the previous time you've asked that question, it's actually learned a lot more. Okay, so let's see if I can get past that second question. So the second question was this one. And in this question, I'm giving it an objective. There we go. So it's saying to me is some of the key offerings I can consider are coaching services, online courses, webinars and workshops, a membership community, books and ebooks, online assessments and tools. My goodness. So even though I initially said I only wanted to do coaching and online training, it's come up with a whole range of other offerings that I can consider. So what I can do now is I can ask and I can start digging deeper using questions like, okay, let's say, what can you expand on what you mean with, and something here, there's affiliate partnerships. So what does it mean with affiliate partnerships? So I can go and formulate a question around that. So now what I'm doing is I'm digging deeper and I'm asking for more information. And now look at that. It actually takes that one point that it suggested and actually goes and it builds it into a huge amount of information that I can use for my own assessment. So I can look at this and I can say, okay, there's something that I'm interested in. Promote affiliate products, and I say, can you tell me more about okay. And this is something that typically sort of happens in brainstorming sessions where someone comes up with an idea, but as they come up with an idea, you don't immediately know exactly what it is that they are talking about. So you can just ask them, tell me a little bit more. Can you expand on it a little bit? You know, up to that point where there's a shared understanding of what that specific idea was about. Okay, and I think we are getting stuck again. But before we get fully stuck on ChatGPT not helping us, these are just different ways in which we can then sort of start delving deeper in assigning roles. And this is actually one of the more powerful things about ChatGPT, because you can actually ask it to act as a specific role in the answer that it's going to give you. So I could, for example, go and ask a question like this, and I'm not sure if we're going to get an answer, but I'm going to say, acting as an online course designer, what would be the critical success factors of designing a course that will sell well? And in the same way, I could have said acting as a design thinker, or acting as a senior executive of the organization. And what ChatGPT does is it actually goes and puts a filter on the knowledge that it has, and it speaks almost as from the perspective of that role that you're asking it to act as. Okay, and I have some other questions. I've got some other questions here where I ask it to act as a customer. There's some other questions here that I'm asking it to act as the founder of this business. And I've also got a question here, if it acts as a marketing expert, will it give me a 1-minute pitch that I can use when people ask me about this business? So let us see. Okay, let me just, let's just see, save me more. Okay, yeah, no, I think we're stuck here. Okay, guys, and I can give you my word. This is the very, very first time that ChatGPT has been this reluctant with me. I must admit, I have been abusing it over the last few weeks. So it's quite possible that they're starting to throttle me. So yeah, is there someone wanting to ask a question in the background? I hear some noises. Or not? Okay, so here we go. ChatGPT is caught up with us. So it's going back to that specific question that I asked about what is promote affiliate products. So these are examples of how you can dig in deeper. Okay, and then let's go now to my next question and see if it'll talk to me. And here is where I'm starting to ask it to act as a specific role. So in using tools like ChatGPT, there's also a format where you actually ask it to speak from a specific point of view. And this is one example of that. So let's see. This is very interesting. Sometimes what it does is it has two similar answers for you. And then it generates for you both of those answers side by side. And it asks you then to go and click on the one that makes most sense to you. Okay, so what we can do here is acting as a course designer, okay, clear learning objectives, target audience understanding. I can immediately see this is more aligned with my thoughts, but it also gives me a different perspective. Okay, so as a course designer, what it's saying to me is there's two separate perspectives here, and then I can go and choose which one is the most valuable one to me. So I can say, okay, well, they both talk about clear learning objectives. They talk about, okay, I like this one a little bit more, and then all I do is I click on it and it selects that as the answer that it takes into my history. And you'll be seeing a little bit later, it's important that I select one because I'm going to ask it towards the end to take everything that we've spoken up into account and come up with an answer for me. Okay, but let's go and explore some perspectives. So I'm going to now ask ChatGPT from a different perspective. I'm going to ask it, And I say, given that my audience are individuals interested in personal growth and development in terms of mindset, skills development, mental agility, can you act as such a customer and tell me what would be a core, irresistible offering that would make you consider making an immediate purchase? Okay, so all those interesting questions that we have, you can just simply throw it into ChatGPT and see what comes back. Okay. I really hope this one gives us an answer, because the next two questions are really, really interesting. Okay. We'll revisit that in a moment. So yeah, if you are thinking about using ChatGPT for brainstorming, one of the first steps would be to sort of go and build a framework around which you want to question ChatGPT. Based on this, you can even go and put questions in around, for example, one of the techniques that are often used in brainstorming sessions are Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats. And you could even go into ChatGPT and say, okay, this idea that you've got, can you please evaluate it for me according to the structure of the 6 thinking hats? And what it will do is it'll kick out all the different hats with all the different assessments against each of the hats. And that gives you a wealth of information against which you can then start making your own interpretations of how good these ideas are or not. And there's other techniques as well, like format. Format is basically a 4-dimensional structure, which says, why is this idea important? What is it about? How can it be done? And what if says, what becomes possible if I do this? And then in design thinking, there's another technique called the 5 whys, which is also something that you can really play around with in ChatGPT. Let's see. Something went wrong. Let's try again. Okay, I'm just going to try this one more time and see. But I think ChatGPT has given up on me. And my apologies. This was definitely not in the plan. Yeah, it's a pity. I really, really wanted to take you through this full exercise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm being throttled at the moment. So okay, but I'll give you this insight. I've been writing a lot of articles for the ACRE conference. I've also been writing a lot of articles for myself, and I've probably generated in the last 3 weeks close to 60 articles, which would be in the range of anything from 600 to 1,200 words per article. And ChatGPT is just an incredible tool to help you create a lot of content or to answer a lot of questions very, very quickly. So I'm definitely sold on this, even though it's not sold on me today. But let's maybe step into some of the possibilities that ChatGPT does open up for us. Okay. And, you know, firstly, in terms of cost and time savings, it's incredible what ChatGPT can do for you. Like I said, I've got a specific example of a task that normally would have taken me between 5 weeks and 2 months, and I completed it in 3 hours. And if you're an independent consultant, I mean, the mind starts boggling about the amount of work that you can complete. and the amount of value that you can start adding to your clients if you can deliver rapidly. The other thing is, if you can start delivering insightful and valuable work very quickly to your clients, it gives you an immense competitive advantage over your competitors. The other thing is, it also gives you the possibility of creating innovative solutions that are outside of what you would have thought of on your own. As you can see there, with some of the questions that I started asking, if I go back there for a moment, if I go back here, I mean, I was thinking about two things that I could have done, and it immediately came up with a whole bunch of other things that I didn't even think of. So the possibility for me to now start creating solutions beyond what I have thought of just becomes immense. Okay. And then, of course, increased productivity. That speaks for itself. If I look at the past 3 weeks, I've written 60 articles end to end. My typical rate on developing articles in the past, you know, I was lucky if I could complete an article every 3 days. And now I've basically, in 15 work days, I've created 60, which just shot my own productivity through the roof. The other thing is also, and this is probably the biggest benefit of it all, is this whole concept of accelerated idea development. Because you can literally, when inspiration hits you, you can immediately climb into a tool like ChatGPT, and you can start playing with that idea, and you can flesh it out, and very, very quickly, you can build a really robust, implementable idea, which is something that in the past it might have taken weeks. If you think about having other people sort of join into the thinking process, getting agreement and consensus between them, getting agreement and consensus which ideas to proceed with, and then once you decide on which idea to proceed with, getting consensus on what to do. Okay, so here we can see it's eventually come back with an answer about if they thought as a customer, what would be irresistible to them? And we can see high value content, client-specific outcomes, expert instructor. Okay, now all of these are things that inform me in terms of building the offering that I want to take to market. Let's just take this forward, because I'm going to ask it. Let's see if it works with me now. I'm going to actually ask it, acting as the founder of this business. So I'm actually asking ChatGPT to act as if it was me that wants to start this new business. What will they do? Okay. And there we go. And I'm asking it, as the founder, give me a value proposition for starting this business. Show me a description of my ideal audience, the pains or obstacles I will experience, and the gains that I'll be expected to achieve in the first 5 years. And there it says, here's the value proposition. It's for aspiring individuals seeking transformation and personal growth. This yet to be named business is your guide to unlocking your full potential. And then it goes and it says, here's your ideal audience, adults ranging from mid-20s to 50s. You know, I know marketing experts that will charge you 2 months worth of consulting fees just to tell you that little statement. Okay, it tells you what the interests of those people are, the goals of those people, their backgrounds, how tech savvy they are, and whether it is something that is for a specific audience or a global audience. Here is some of the pains and obstacles that I'm going to have to overcome. Here's the expected gains that I'm going to have to focus on in the first 5 years: growing community, diverse offerings, expert reputation. All of these are great stuff. Then I have one. So I've asked it to act as a customer. I've asked it to act as me, the founder. And now I'm going to ask it to act as a marketing expert. And I'm going to ask it to design for me a 1-minute pitch that I can use if people ask me what this business is about. And there, look at that. Okay. And it gives me a little pitch. Imagine a place where personal growth isn't just a buzzword, but a transformative journey. I'm the founder of, and our mission is to empower individuals like you to unleash their full potential in mindset, skills, mental agility. Okay, so very, very quickly, you've got a little marketing blurb. Okay, and then now I'm going to get to the interesting thing. And I'm going to ask it this question. I'm going to say, take into account all of the information discussed before. So I'm asking it to remember our whole conversation. I'm going to ask it to summarize for me what is the key idea behind this business. Okay. And then typically it will come up with what the one central idea is behind this business. And if ChatGPT wasn't so reluctant to work with me today, I would have then taken it for you guys into asking it to act as a business coach and what would be the first actions I should take. And then I could have taken it for you through the format and the 6 thinking hats processes as well. But I think given the response that I'm getting here and the time that has passed, we probably won't get to see the results of this. Okay, but what I can do, and what I'm going to do is I'm in the chat, I'm just going to put my email address. If you are interested, what I will do is if you email me and you ask me for it, I will go and run this whole series of questions again early in the morning, tomorrow morning, and then I will send you the full transcript. And you can actually see how ChatGPT reacts to all of these different questions that I asked it. Okay, so which now brings us to, let me just stop sharing. Okay, or just before, oh, wait, yeah. Okay, so there's one more thing, and this is just a perspective for the future. And this is my opinion, but it's an opinion that is actually shared by a number of leading thinkers in the AI field as well. And the first thing is AI will be an essential and enabling tool for professionals, educators, and entrepreneurs in the future. There's no doubt about it. And as you could see, just with the stuff that we did today, it's an incredible helper if you know what you want. Okay, ChatGPT is not that great if you haven't got a clue what you want. So, but if you know what you want, this is something that is an incredibly supportive tool. The second point is that ignoring AI or resisting it will condemn you to failure and the inability to remain competitive in the future. One of the fears that people have about AI is job losses. And a quote that I read a while ago, it said is that your AI will not take your job, but your job will be taken by someone who leverages AI. So it's in your best interest to learn all about this new AI world and how you can leverage it for your own benefit. And the sooner you start, the quicker you'll be able to leverage it. That's the simple thing, like all the technological tools. Which brings us to the last part, which is Q&A. And what I'll do is I'll just stop sharing here and I'll remove the spotlight. And I'm going to open this up for questions, any and all questions. And if I can't answer you, I will consult with ChatGPT and come back to you. Farasani, yes, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Rasani, I can't hear you.
Oh my God.
There we go. I can hear you.
Oh, lekker. It's not basically a question, but I wanted to ask if, everyone can just, if everyone is comfortable, just for networking purposes, I would appreciate it if maybe every single person who's on this meeting, leave their email. I'm one person who really loves networking, especially after having such kind of interaction.
That's a great idea. But can I give you an even greater one?
Okay.
Yeah. Book yourself onto ACRE, and then you will have 3 days where you can do unlimited networking with all of us at the conference.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How do I do that?
Yeah, the conference, guys, if you've never been to this conference, I'm sort of involved a little bit in organizing the conference at the moment, but I'll tell you my story. I went to ACRE for the first time in 2001 as a skeptic. And what I learned at that first conference compelled me to go back to every single conference, every single year after that. The business that I had at the time, none of the success of that business would have been possible without people and ideas that I got at ACRE conference. I promise you it'll be the best investment in your own future that you will make coming to ACRE. Yeah. So Farasani, I hope we see you booked on the conference in the next few days while we still have the early bird offer.
Yes. I'm gonna do that. I'm assuming that's what's on the screen where I register and stuff.
Yes, that the website I showed you. If you just go to acreconference.com, there's a big red button that says book here, and it'll take you to a booking page where you can book and pay before you can even think about it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And then I appreciate also every single person who's sending their emails. I'm gonna connect with everyone soon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. If you guys want to take Farasani up on his offer, just post your emails in the chat. Amanda, you've got a question as well. If you unmute yourself.
Yes, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. All right, just out of curiosity, I already searched like what languages are behind the chatbot. So I saw that it's Python, and there's this, I don't know, it's human. There's another language that I don't even know, I never heard of. It says it's natural language processing. Okay.
Yes.
So besides those 2 languages, let's say if maybe I want to get involved, I don't want to be replaced by bots. I'm a software developer, by the way. So so what other like areas are involved in terms of profession to like come up with this bot idea?
Okay, there's a whole range of different directions that artificial intelligence is developing in. And if you go onto Google has got a whole range of introductory level courses that you can go on to start understanding what AI is about and the different applications of AI. If you think about it, almost every single repeatable behavior can be encoded in artificial intelligence because it's basically a simulation of intelligence. So everything that's repeatable can be encoded in artificial intelligence. But what you can do, there's 2 things, Amanda. You can either go and research yourself, or if you take my email down and if you send me an email, what I'll do is I'll point you to some sources and articles on the internet and at Google, which will give you a kickstart around, answering all these questions for yourself. Will that work for you?
I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Okay, so take my email, send me an email as soon as you can, and then what I'll do is I'll send you as much information as I can the next day.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, I also want to ask if I'm already using chatbot for my other research. So since you said you mentioned that you can also use it for brainstorming, I was just thinking maybe is it gonna expand, have something like a room so for discussion, whereby like today you were trying to show us things like where everyone can be able to maybe drop down their questions and then everyone can see it on the spot without, like your mention today was so I was wondering if it can like expand into that level.
This version of ChatGPT, as I've been using it, is not ideally suited for collaboration. But one of the things that you can do is very much like I used it today in as a way to work with the group. You can use it like that. But I'm not sure. To be honest, I'll have to double check for you on. I'll have to double check for you on whether there's collaborative tools that you can use ChatGPT with. I'm pretty sure there will be collaborative tools like that. I'm just in the habit of most of the time working on my own. So yeah, the way that ChatGPT is set up as a standard by Open AI actually works very well for me. But I'll double check that for you. Just remind me that in the email that you're going to send me.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for today's meet up. It's really insightful and it got me up. It got me become more curious.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. Francois Coetzee,
yes,
yes, yeah. Thank you very much. I think it was an incredibly important contribution. Thank you so much. But those, just to come back to the ACRE conference, you see, if the history of creativity actually shows very clearly that creativity intervenes at all levels and every community out there in the world. As Torrance says, if you add creativity to education or to business or to sport or whatever, you get the edge. There's nothing else that can give you the edge. Creativity gives you the edge. And now creativity has now entered the realm of artificial intelligence for the first time. I mentioned that at the beginning. A colleague of ours in the US just did an incredible creativity program to test how creative is artificial intelligence. And that will be explored at our conference. And I think it's to take the next step in business, you need to know and understand how to in a sense, connect to creativity and artificial intelligence. Otherwise, there's this gap. And we've got the researcher. I spoke to him yesterday in the US, and he will be contributing, even if it's in a video kind of way, at the conference. So you'll be right there at the forefront, at the cutting edge of creativity and artificial intelligence. And as Francois said, that is really the place to be next year in March. But thank you again, Francois. Wonderful work. Thank you. Yeah. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have a last question, or is this a good time to wrap things up for today? Okay. Guys, thank you very much for showing up today. I really appreciate your participation. And please go send me an email and I will send you a transcript of all of those questions. I actually, ChatGPT started responding to me again, but I'm not going to switch over to that again. But if you are interested to see that full set of questions and the applications of the format, the 6 thinking hats and the 5 whys, just send me an email and I'll send you a transcript of all of that. And then you can actually go through it at your own leisure. And if you have any questions, about ACRE next year or whether ACRE is right for you, please drop me an email address, an email, and I will give you as much information as you need. I really hope to see all of you guys out at ACRE next year. You will never, ever forget being there. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.